welcome to Copenhagen. Thanks for dropping in. Today I've decided to do a bit of a battle of the waxes type thing. I know it's been done before and it will be done again and people will get their own results, but I just wanted to try it more from my own curiosity than anything else. There are too many things that can come into it that could affect the results. I'm sort of guessing that maybe temperature, humidity, how hard the person presses the pen, the phases of the moon, for all I know. There are a lot of things that can change, I think anyway, the results that different people get. But I wanted to try it for myself because when I started diamond painting, I was just using the rectangle that came with the first kit that I got. And when I finished the first one, that was a 60 by 60, I still had plenty of wax left. So when I started the second one, I kept using the same piece of wax. I ended up doing something like 3.5 diamond paintings with one rectangle of wax. But I started to notice people talking about how pink wax sucks, and people were using alternatives and trying different things because pink wax sucks. So I never really understood that. I never really had any problems with it. So I thought, was I just lucky with that rectangle of wax that I got? Did I just happen to get a really good one? Or is it because it came from a certain manufacturer? And then I started to think, does it all really come from the same place? So I started looking at stuff, and I was finding when I got different kits, I could see differences in the wax. Like some wax, most wax I would say you can't really see through it. Then I got a couple that were very thin, like light. You could see through it. It was a very, very faint pink. And I thought, okay, that's a different, obviously a different manufacturer for that one. And then I was sort of looking at the ones that I was getting from different companies that just come with the kits, like just their standard thing. So I thought, I'm going to start testing these things and see which one for me works the best. Then I started thinking about all these alternatives that people were using, and I'd heard about stuff called Museum Putty, not wax, but Museum Putty, and I tried to get that and I couldn't get it. So I had been speaking to Yureli through Messenger. She has her own YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description. But I had been speaking to her, and she's in America, and she said, well, I can get it, and if you just PayPal me, I'll send it over to you. So I thought, that's a good idea. So I went for that. And then she said, well, I've actually got some PaddyWaxx here. Now, again, PaddyWaxx is something that I couldn't get a hold of. So she said, I've got some, I've been using it, but I can send you some, because I told her why I wanted it. And then she said, I've got some Super Sticky PaddyWaxx as well. So I thought, okay, that's good because it compares against the pink wax and the pink waxes that I've got from different companies. So finally, I've got everything together. And I was thinking about how I was going to do this. And I've came up with a system that I'm going to use for myself that I think would be a good graphic explanation of how they compare against each other. And as I said, it could be, I could use the same wax a different day and it could last longer or last less. It's just purely on that day, but I'll explain what I'm doing in a minute. Okay, so first things first, what I've done is I've put little stickers on each wax saying where it came from. And I have 13 waxes. So what I've done here is I've set up a random number generator, and I'm going to use this to pick which ones I do first, like in order. So I've got 13 and they're labelled up and I've got them all in a row. So what I'm going to do is I'll just test it, randomise, and it's set for 1 to 13. Okay, lucky 7. What I'll do, the next one when I press it, I'll pull out the wax that is that number in the row. I've just got like 13 of them in a line, and it's so that it's totally random which one goes where. I'm not thinking about I'll do this one, then this one, then this one. And the idea is that I am going to take one dot of wax and I'm going to use it continually until it doesn't pick up. And as soon as that happens, as soon as I've tried more than twice to pick up a drill and it doesn't pick up, I stop and I move on to the next one, take one dot and do it again. And I do this the whole thing. I don't know how long it'll take. Obviously I'm not going to video that part because it's going to take far too long. It's going to be too boring. So I'll set it up and I'll go and do these, and then when I'm finished I'll come back and continue the video and let you see the results and talk about them. So the first thing I have to do obviously is pick which waxes are going first. So I decided to call this little experiment "Which Wax Wins." Nice little catchy title. So which wax wins out of 13 waxes. It will be interesting to see how it compares to what other people have found have done this sort of thing. But the reason that I'm doing it, the way that I'm doing it, is it basically is going to give us what looks like a graph, like a bar graph, not a bar graph, what do you call them? Like columns, you know what I mean. So you'll be able to visually just step back and look, and you can easily see which one has placed more drills before it lost its stickiness. So I'll just start. So the first one is going to be number 4. Now I've got them hiding behind this iPad. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is one that a lot of people will know. And so the one that is going to be in the first column, the first one to be tested, is going to be the little pink heart from DAC, which is Diamond Art Club. A lot of people recognise this. So this is going to be number 1. So I'll just put them in another row so that I remember which order. So the next one is number 7. Oh, hang on, I did that wrong. What I should do is change it, because obviously there aren't 13 there now, there's 12. So I'll do that again. 12, so it's the first one, makes it easier for me. So this one came from Smith's Beads. Now Smith's Beads are a company in England that I have been using to do customs. I just finished my first Copenhagen custom, and the piece that I'm actually testing all this on is actually my second Copenhagen custom. Just finished setting that up this morning. 70 colours, so that was fun. So this is the wax that I got with this custom. So I'm going to test this and see how Smith's Beads compare to Diamond Art Club. So they are number 2. So I have to change this again. 11, randomize, number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 is another square. Now this is the light pink. You can see through it. It's a very light pink colour. So I don't know how this will compare to the dark pink, but this is just a generic one that came from I don't know where, but I did notice that it was different. So I've just marked it pink square. So it's just a generic pink wax, but it's a light colour. So that'll be number 3. And then again I have to change this. So we've now got 10. and randomise it. Number 10. It's funny the way this is turning out because it's another square. I've marked this one Supermarket. This is the wax that I got with the diamond painting that I found purely by chance in the local supermarket. The first time I've seen a diamond painting in a supermarket, so I bought it to test it. I did an opening and I spoke about that and how it compared to the other ones that I've got. So again, another square. Again, this one is quite see-through, but it's not as see-through as the one that I just had. So Supermarket is going to be number 4. And change it again. 9 left. And randomise. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. I've just marked this one pink rectangle because this is what I would consider the generic. This looks very like the one that I used in my very first diamond painting. Normally they're this sort of shade of pink, so I would say this is just a generic pink rectangle, and that is going to be number 5. So there we go. Next one. 8 colours left. And randomise. Number 8. Number 8 is a bit different. This is blue wax. Now it's not blue tack, it is blue wax, and I got this one from Sam at Painting with Diamonds. I mentioned to her, I had placed an order, and I mentioned something about the wax idea, and she said, have you tried blue wax? And I thought she meant blue tack, but she said no, it's blue wax. I had never even heard of it. She said, okay, I'll send you a small sample with your order and you can try that out. So this one, I've never tried blue wax before. I don't know if the colour makes any difference, but we'll find out. So that is going to be the next one. So drop it down, 7 left. And randomise. Number 2. Okay, number 2 is diamond dots. This came with one that I unboxed from Diamond Dots. They have their own logo underneath this, so they have these little tubs with the screw lids, and they have their own logo on top of them. So Diamond Dots is next. So drop it to 6 and randomise. Number 2. Number 2 is another round tub, but this one came from Home Craftology. So they are doing the same sort of thing. They've got the little round tub, and initially I thought this is probably the same thing, but they're the same diameter, but when I put them side by side, you can see Home Craftology one is taller than this one, so they are actually a bit different. So that's the next 2. So it's Diamond Dots, then Home Craftology. So drop it down again, 5 left, and randomise. 2 again. And 2 is pale pink rectangle. Again, this is just a generic pink rectangle, but it's a more see-through pink again. So I thought I would try that, and we'll see how that goes. So now we are down to 4. And randomise. Number 4. Okay. Number 4. Some people may recognise this. It is PaddyWaxx, and this is Cherry Bomb. This is a scented wax, and as you can see, it is very thick compared to your normal wax, and it is very hard. I've never used PaddyWaxx, so this is going to be the first time I've tried it. This is the one that I got from Yureli. As she said, she had already been using it, but she decided to donate it for this little experiment. So this is going to be a new one for me. The room is going to smell very nice. I don't know, I've never used a wax that is solid, so again, that'll be something different for me. So that's the next one. So take it down, number 3, and randomize, number 3. And number 3 is another one that Yureli sent me. She put this in as well, and this is Super Sticky PaddyWaxx. There's a small frog, I don't know if you can see that. So for the sake of this experiment, this little frog is going to croak, but it has to be done. So again, PaddyWaxx, super sticky. Again, it's very hard. I've never used anything like it. We'll see how that compares to the regular PaddyWaxx. So getting down to the last 2. And number 1. Now number 1 is the one that I was really after, Museum Putty. I had been reading a lot about this, people were talking about it, and as I said, I tried to get it and I couldn't find it in Amazon.de, which is in Germany, because I live in Denmark, so Germany is the closest for us. So I couldn't get it, and Yureli kindly offered to buy it for me in the States and send it over. So this is it. It is a huge piece. It probably lasts a lifetime, but it is actually meant for holding down ornaments and things. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I know that people talk about it and say it's really good, so we'll be able to see how it compares to everything else. So obviously that leaves just one left, and the last one is pale pink square. So this is the very pale. I can show you just against the pink. Pink background as well doesn't help, but I think you can see there's a big difference in the colour. So I was curious to see if that makes a difference to the actual wax. Does it make it better, worse, or is it just the same? So that is the last one. So that's it. I've got 13. The canvas that I've got is it has blue lines on it that cuts it into a grid, and is the squares on the grid are 10 by 10, so 100 drills per square, so it makes it quite easy to count. And the idea is I'm going to start at the right hand bottom corner, as I always do, and I'll do a column, and the first one will be Diamond Art Club. I'll take one dot out of that with the pen, and I'll just continue to work up the column until it isn't picking up anymore, and I'll stop. Then I'll move over and I'll replace the Diamond Art Club wax with Smith's Beads wax. Now this isn't made by Smith's Beads, it's not as if they make it, it's just this is the wax that came with the kit, and again it's a lighter colour than the sort of generic, and I was just curious to see how it compares. So that is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start from the right hand side. I'm going to do a 10 wide column going up the canvas, and then leave a gap of 10, and then the next one will be the next row, the next column. So we'll end up with 13 columns, and we should be able to just visually look at them and easily see how they compare to each other. And what I'll do is I'll put these little stickers at the bottom of each column so we know which wax it was. And that's the test. So I'll come back once it's all done and I'll do the big reveal, and we will find out which wax wins. So 2 weeks and 30,580 drills later, I am ready to reveal which wax won. So this is how the canvas finished, and each column is 10 drills wide, and the canvas has squares. It's cut into squares which are 10 by 10. So I know that every square that I do is 100 drills, 20 drills high. So every time I get a complete column, that's 2,000 drills. So initially when I started it, I thought I'll do one wax, a space, the next wax, a space. Then I found that some of the waxes were doing 2+, and I thought, hang on, I've got 13 here, I might run out of space. So I changed the way I was doing that, and I started to not leave any gaps. So you'll see when you get to this point here, there's no gaps. It's because I was doing the waxes side by side just in case I ran out. I didn't quite, but I'm glad I did it that way. So it starts with number 1 on the right hand side. When I was doing it, I did mess up a bit. I got the sequence mixed up at one point and I did the wrong wax, but I kept a note of it, and all I did was changed where it was in the sequence. So these are the different heights, and it's a bit harder to see over here what's happening, but I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to start with the lowest count first, and I'll tell you what wax it was and the count. So this is 1 dot of wax, and just work it until it stops picking up and then stop. And I did it with every one. There was no favoritism. I don't have anybody that I'm trying to make sure wins or anything like that. It's just take a dot and work it and then stop when it stops picking up. So I said there were a few surprises, and this is the first one. The lowest number was 997 drills from 1 dot, and that was Super Sticky PaddyWaxx. It got the lowest count out of all of them. It is the first time that I've used PaddyWaxx, and it is very different from anything I've used, but all I did was poked a hole through it as normal, filled the pen and just started using it. I did notice initially it was very, very sticky. Every time I put a drill down and I pulled the pen back, I could hear a little tick every time, and I thought, okay, this is like really good stuff. I got to about 400 and that noise stopped, which was fine, but it very quickly seemed to lose the stickiness, and I got as far as 997 drills. So Super Sticky PaddyWaxx is number 13. Well, I mean 13 in the chart. So that was the bottom, which was a very big surprise for me. The next one scored 1006 drills, and that was Cherry Bomb PaddyWaxx. The way that I did this was I cut a sliver off it because it's such a solid chunk. So I cut a little piece and I poked a hole in it, filled the pen up, and then just carried on as normal, and that got to 1006. So next up is 1373, and that was the wax that came with diamond dots. So 1373, that's nearly 400 more than Cherry Bomb PaddyWaxx. Then the next one was 1410, and that was the generic square that came with Smith's beads. And Smith's beads are the people who made this for me. This is a custom, and it's a picture of some graffiti that I took in Copenhagen about 3 years ago, and I was looking through the pictures that I take and I thought that actually might make a nice diamond painting. So this is the piece of wax that came with it, and I thought, okay, I'll just try it. So Smith's beads don't make their own wax. This is just a generic wax, but just out of curiosity, took one dot and thought I'll see how far this goes. So that was 1410. The next one is 1466, so basically just over 50 more, and that was blue wax, which I got from painting with diamonds. This was one that Sam sent me. I had made an order and somehow I had mentioned something about I was going to do this test of all the waxes, and she said, have you tried blue wax? And initially I thought she meant blue tack, and she said no, it's actually wax, it's blue wax. So I thought, well, I didn't know it existed, so I thought I would try that. So it scored 1466. Next one, 1530, was pink rectangle. Now this is just a generic one. I have so much wax from all the kits that I've got. I just pulled out what I would call a generic standard rectangle. It's the sort of normal thickness, normal colour of pink wax. So that one, I need to keep checking my sheet. That was 1530 with one dot. The next one scored 1617, and that came from Diamond Art Club. So Diamond Art Club's hat, a lot of people will recognise this. Again, I took one dot and just went with it. So that was 1616. No, 1617. Get it right. Next one, 1631. That was pale pink rectangle. Again, it was another generic. It's just that in the bag that I've got of all these waxes, I noticed that some are more see-through than others. So if you compare this going back, you can see the difference. You can see my finger through this one. You can't see it really through that one. You see there's quite a difference. So I thought I'll do that as a separate and just see how it compares. So it actually did better than the darker wax. I don't know why I thought this would do worse, because it looks diluted, which makes no sense at all, but I didn't think it would do as good as the regular stuff, but it actually did better. So that was pale pink 1631, that one got for one dot. The next one was another generic, and it was a pink square, and it got 2728, so quite a bit more. And again, it's a generic pink wax that I don't even know what kit I got it from. It was just in the bag of all the waxes that I've got. So again, the paler pink, and it seemed to do better than the darker stuff. It's just how it goes. As I said, all I did was fill the pen and just went until it stopped picking up, and then moved on to a new section. So the next one is 3,206 drills from one dot of wax, and that was from Homecraftology. So this is Homecraftology's wax. Decided to do that and see how that worked, and it did pretty well. 3,206. Next one was a surprise for me again. Some people may have seen the unbagging I did of a diamond painting that I found in our local supermarket. It was in the sort of cheap bargain section, and it was the first time that I'd seen a diamond painting in a supermarket. So I didn't have high expectations for this one, and it actually did very well. So the supermarket one, it managed to do 3,768 drills, which is pretty impressive. The next one, again, this was a surprise. This one managed to do 3,987, and again it was just a generic pale pink square. This is a very, very soft wax. It's very, it goes out of shape really easy, and again it's very see-through, just doesn't feel or look as if it would be any good. It was actually the second best at 3,987. So the winner, or the one that scored the most, was Museum Putty, and it managed to do 5,861 drills with one dot. This is the package it came in, Museum Putty. It's actually meant for holding ornaments and things during earthquakes, or to stop the grandkids from knocking things over. And it's a big chunk of stuff. I'll just let you see it. So there's the proof, just pushed in, pushed through, one dot, and it managed to do 5,861. And to give you an idea what 5,861 is, it's these end sections. As I said, there's 2,000 in each column. So this is 2,000, and then 4,000, and then just under 6,000. So that was 5,861. So out of all the waxes I've tried, by far Museum Putty was the winner. Again, this was not done under scientific clinical conditions. I just basically did them when I had time. Some of them were left overnight. This one was left overnight, obviously, so much stuff. They were done at different times of day, and all I can say is this was way better than anything else. I was very surprised that the PaddyWaxx didn't score higher. Again, first time I've used it, but again, all I was doing was using it like I use any other wax. Stick the pen in and just go. So that's how things turned out for me. How these things are affected by humidity, temperature, whatever, I don't know. But I'm in Denmark, and these are the results. So there you have it. That was a long project for me, longer than I expected. Not sure that I was really surprised that Museum Putty won. I sort of had a feeling about it when I saw it. It feels very much like blue tack, but when I saw what it's used for, I thought, okay, this stuff is strong. When I was using it, I found it was sort of spongy, which was quite good actually, because if I pressed hard when I was using square drills, and sometimes when you put them down, they're not like perfectly square, so you turn them, and I was using the pen to do that, and that can push the wax back up into the nib. With this, I felt as if I was pushing down, and then when I released, it was sort of springing back. I just had a feeling that it was going to be really good. When I used the PaddyWaxx, it was so hard that if I got a drill that was squint and I tried to turn it, the pen was like sliding off the drill. I just couldn't get it to work. So I think it's because I'm used to just the normal pink wax, which is soft. So it felt a bit different. I was very surprised that the PaddyWaxx, both of the PaddyWaxxes, ended up at the bottom of the pile, because I've read so many good things about PaddyWaxx. But all I can say is I just did exactly the same thing with every wax. I wasn't trying to make any better than any or any worse than any. It was just a genuine fill the pen and just see what you get. The PaddyWaxx for me just didn't work. So for me, if anybody was ever asking what to use, if they want something that's going to last a long time, it would be the Museum Putty, easily. Just it blew everything away. If anybody asked me if I would buy Museum Putty rather than using the pink wax that comes with the kits, I would say no. Because to get this stuff, I had to buy it from America and pay for shipping, which cost a fortune. It is a very big piece. That is a lot of wax, if you want to call it wax. But when I get a kit and, hang on, it has something this size that can do me for 3.5 diamond paintings, and it's free. I personally have never had any real problem with pink wax, and the reason that I did this test was to try and find out why people are trying other things. What is wrong with pink wax? The one that scored the absolute lowest wasn't even a pink wax. Now, the one that was second was a pink wax, just a generic pink wax, and it was second in this test. So for me, if anybody's out there and they're new and you're hearing all these things about the super duper waxies, try this, just try it, see how long it lasts. I think a lot of it comes down to how hard you press the pen. I know that I am very light with the pen, and I think that's why I get so much. But I mean, if you want to try the other stuff, fair enough. But realistically, the soft pink wax that I got, and I don't even know where I got it, did very, very well, and it didn't cost me any extra. And all I need is another 2 dots of this to keep up with 1 dot of that. This will do a diamond painting. Obviously it depends on the size, but this will do a lot more than the kit that you get with it if you use it properly. I'm inclining more towards it's how you use the wax rather than what wax it is. I think if you, I mean, when I fill a pen, I just touch the drill. I don't press on it. I just touch it and it sticks. Then I lift it up and I just touch it on the glue and let it go. I don't press it. I just touch it. And I think that makes a difference, because eventually, the more you do, eventually you end up with a concave inside. If you imagine the nib of the pen is like that size, the wax is flat at the beginning. If you press hard, you push the wax up. I don't have a pen here, but if you look in the pen tip, you'll see there's a hole, like a tiny hole in the back. If you press the wax hard, it pushes wax up through that hole. And if you've been using the same plastic pen for a while, you'll see a little squiggle of wax. Now, if you don't press really hard, you're not pushing the wax up through that hole, which means it's not moving away from where the drill touches it. And I think that's the secret. I think it's, if you're gentle and don't push hard. After saying that, if I put a drill down, a square drill, and it isn't straight, I will press hard enough to turn it to get it where I want it to be. But I still seem to get a lot. I mean, a lot with just the normal pink wax. So just from this that I've done, I would say try the pink wax. Don't get too hung up on it's the wax. Try changing your technique. Try doing the touch just a bit lighter and see if that works. I think that's the secret, personally. That's just me, but what do I know? So anyway, on that note, PaddyWaxx, sorry, not PaddyWaxx, Museum Putty was by far the best. If you're looking for something that's going to last a long time, Museum Putty, out of the ones that I tried, is by far the best. Whether you want to pay the price for it, if you are in the States, I don't think it's such a big deal, but if you live in Denmark and you're buying it from America and you're paying, I forget what I paid, but about $20 or $25 just for shipping, you might think twice. So that's it. I know other people have done waxes, and I know we're probably all going to come up with different answers, but again, it comes down to the person, I think, and where you live, the humidity, the temperature. I think all of these things can probably affect the tackiness of the wax. So all I'm saying is, I did all of this, everything was equal, as equal as I could make it, just one dot and go, nothing else. So Museum Putty, definitely way better than anything else, but I wouldn't buy it. So in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.